7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Boom. Boom. Does working with infinite intelligence actually make the brain grow stronger? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. Yesterday, we discussed the negative effects of unforgiveness and other negative states of mind. And I posed the question, does working with infinite intelligence actually make the mind grow stronger, or the brain grow stronger? I told you how unforgiveness, resentment, anger, shame, guilt, and blame create stress within the body. And when those negative states are maintained on an ongoing basis, they create chronic stress, which can generate a chemical bath within the body that can have a destructive effect on the body as well as on the brain and consequently on the mind. Please, click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on in the chat box on the right, or if you're listening to this in replay, you can put your comment on the comment section below the video. So today we're continuing with that question. Does working with infinite intelligence actually make the brain grow stronger? So, to recap, as I mentioned yesterday, negative thinking kills off brain cells, while positive thinking actually builds them up. Opening oneself up to infinite intelligence causes your brain cells to grow stronger. And I was using the book The God-Shaped Brain by Dr. Timothy Jennings. The God-Shaped Brain by Dr. Timothy Jennings. Now, one of the things that jumped out at me when I was reading this book was his discussion of a protein produced by the white brain cells and blood vessels. This protein is called BDNF. BDNF is referred to by him as the protein fertilizer for the brain. He says that BDNF causes neurons to grow stronger, branch out, connect, and even form new neurons. Now, this is a neuron, or this is a protein that is here for the when you're dealing with infinite intelligence and thinking positively. It can cause healing within the brain. It can cause strengthening of the brain. The problem is BDNF is not a direct creation of the DNA. Instead, what our DNA actually produces is something called ProBDNF. Now, ProBDNF is what happened with the protein from which BDNF is formed. But something has to change to cause ProBDNF to become BDNF. An enzyme has to be introduced to change it from one to the other. And that enzyme brings about that change, is created when the brain cells are actively being used. So when we're actively using our brain in positive thoughts and connecting with infinite intelligence, the enzyme is being created called BDNF, the brain fertilizer, the thing that will cause our cells to be nurtured and to grow. Back to me. But here is the kicker. Your chronic stress condition turns off those parts of your brain that are switched on when you're thinking positive thoughts and when you're feeling positive emotion. It turns them off. It turns off those sections of the brain that enable you to analyze problems, create solutions, come up with ideas, witness beauty, experience joy, share love, and basically enjoy life. Those parts of your brains are turned off when you're in a state of stress, because all that matters when you're in stress, as far as the body is concerned, is that your muscles are capable of reacting to the situation. And so everything else is a distraction, so they get turned off. Now, when those parts of your brain are turned off, then what happens is the ProBDNF protein becomes like a killer. It kills brain cells that are inactive. It kills them and wipes them off the system. It's a cleaner, and it cleans them out. The even more ugly part of the process is that the brain cells that are being used for your negative thoughts and for your chronic stress are actually producing that enzyme, and they're getting the fertilizer. They're getting built up. They're getting nurtured. They're getting fed. The negative cells are getting fed, while the positive cells are being killed and wiped out. So if your brain produces enzymes that convert ProBDNF into the active ingredient working with your cells, you are actually destroying your brain. You're actually destroying your brain. So what you got to do is learn that your positive thoughts need to be there in order to feed your brain cells. If the negative thoughts dominate, your brain cells are going to die, and your brain is going to get smaller. It actually will get smaller. So if you learn to use your positive so that you can see the world, so you can analyze problems, so that you can experience love and good feelings, then that's when the BDNF is going to feed your brain cells and make them more active. So anyway, this baffled me, actually. It bothered me. I began to wonder, why is it that the destroyer of cells is the default mechanism instead of the builder of cells? Why is that extra step necessary for this protein to switch from a killer to a builder? And the answer came to me through infinite intelligence from a couple of friends of mine. The first friend was Kent Shue back in San Francisco. He sent me a short video on Facebook in which a priest used the quote from the book of John, chapter 1, verse 5. And the quote says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Now the second friend who added to the answer that I got last night from Infinite Intelligence was Lou Fioretti here in Buffalo. Lou addressed me, sent a message on Facebook or direct messenger, and he was asking me questions about reincarnation. Did I believe in it? And of course I do. So the communication from the two of those that came at the time together brought me an answer after my mind did some turning them over and thinking about them. What I came up with, or what came to me, was this answer. I'm trying to bring it online here. Answer. We descended into darkness to overcome it. The natural state of the physical plane is towards death. We came here to be tested. So that was the answer that came to me. We descended into darkness to overcome it. Huh. We descended into darkness to overcome it. And the natural state of the physical plane is toward death. Now what that statement means to me is this. We are spiritual beings. We are spirit who exist at a very high level of vibration, very high vibrational level. In our natural state, we are beings of light. We have chosen to come into this lower vibration and descend down into the very lowest vibration of matter called the physical plane. Now on this low vibrational material level, the progression is towards death and darkness. Everything on this level of existence dies. We, however, can overcome death because we have the capability of elevating to a higher state of being. We are already there. We are already light beings. We are already highly vibrational beings. We are already spirit. We are just riding in this body for the sake of living a life on the physical plane. But we have the ability to resume and become beings of light inside of our bodies. So this physical plane called Earth is a learning ground. This is where we learn to overcome the darkness and return to a state of high vibrational light. We face many trials, obstacles, tribulations, but we work to build strength through connection with infinite intelligence. And gradually we learn that we are the children of God. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. So we eventually learn to overcome all those obstacles. It takes many lives to achieve that level, but when we do, we become like the stars in heaven, pure energy, pure light, pure spirit. We become one with infinite intelligence. So ProBDNF, BDNF, the killer of brain cells, is there to be overcome, to be transformed to BDNF, the fertilizer of brain cells. And we do it by the part of the brain that we choose to activate. That part that is active is going to be fed, and that part that is inactive is going to be diminished and wiped out. So here in the physical world, the trajectory is towards death, but we have the power to transform it because we are spiritual beings, and it is simply part of our training. If I confuse you at this point, I apologize. But you know, we're working through one life after another to get better at it, to learn to do it, to become the spiritual beings that we are. But we learn to do it down here on this physical plane, so it makes us stronger. Those things that we go through, the terrible things that we go through sometimes, are to make us stronger as spiritual beings, so that when we light, our light is powerful. Our light is powerful. It's not weak. It's not weak. It can't be knocked about by this trial and this tribulation, because we have been through that, life after life after life. And so our light is powerful. Our light is strong. So if this confuses you, I apologize, but I urge you to watch this again if you have to. Then I suggest you sleep on it to allow your mind to sort it all out and give you the answer you need. And when you've done that, you're well on your way to truly becoming a spiritual warrior and ready for our mission, because we are here to change the world. And as you grow in your spiritual power, the power of your elevated vibrations will cause your presence to affect those around you in positive ways. It will cause your presence to attract others of like mind, so that as we raise the vibrations of ourselves and those around us, we begin to change the world, because those around us then begin to affect those around them and elevate them. And those around them will begin to be affected by that higher vibration as well. It is up to you to know that your light will overcome the darkness. Your light will overcome the darkness. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence, and your light will overcome the darkness. Think about that. And we'll continue this discussion tomorrow. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us together in this life so that we become spiritual warriors and joining the work that we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. And so there we are, another day under the belt. I definitely invite you to come back tomorrow so we can continue this conversation. We are so powerful. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing how powerful we are, what wonderful lights we are. And so come back tomorrow. Remember to hit the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts and questions. Remember, I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.